if you have to speak to someone about their poor behaviour, their poor performance, or a decision they won't like, then stick to the facts. Now, I know it sounds obvious, but there's a little bit more to this than what most people realise. So let's take a look at the case where we're talking about people's behaviour. Now, I've heard people over the years use all of these words, these types of words, to describe someone's poor behaviour. They're rude, they're belligerent, they're arrogant, outrageous, sexist, racist, lazy, difficult, they lie a lot, they're sloppy, they're nasty. One I hear a lot is they're disrespectful or they don't show respect. And another one I hear a lot is they're not a team player. They're overconfident, jealous, out of touch. They don't care, Bill cheats, they're incompetent. Oh, and I also hear things like, they don't care about anyone but themselves. They want my job. They think they're better than everyone else. They want others to fail. They have low self-esteem. Now, all of these might actually be true. But here's the problem. They can be vague and mean very different things to different people. They can be open to interpretation. They can be seen as exaggerations, unfair, rude, and in some cases put-downs. They can be seen as just opinions, guesswork and conjecture, and most of the time, not most of the time, a lot of the time that's all they are. They can be seen as you overstepping your mark and your level of qualifications and skills. So that's some of the problems with them. And none of them are facts as I use the term here. They are subjective interpretations, opinions and labels and conjecture. So what this means when you use that sort of language, when you don't stick to the facts, and someone said to me not that long ago, now, you just want me to be boring and dull, Mark. Well, if the facts are boring and dull, then so be it. But you are better off sticking to the facts. So when you don't stick to the facts, but you use this other sort of language, what happens is that you allow them the opportunity to not understand or say they don't understand what you're saying. Ask for clarification, that's not unreasonable. Ask for proof, again, not unreasonable. They can get annoyed and they can accuse you of exaggerating, making things up, and they might disagree and argue with you. This means you get caught off guard sometimes and thrown off track, and you have to defend yourself and justify your language. You have to give examples to prove what you've said. You get into discussions, debates and arguments about, what do you mean by respect? I'm respectful, or I'm a team player. Who says I'm not a team player? You go down side tracks having to discuss what you really mean, and then you can waste valuable time and energy. Now, stick to the facts. But what are they? Well, to me, they're clear and objective statements about what was said or done, agreed, decided, and what the problem is. So it's what the camera saw in many regards, or what the audio recorded. It's no interpretation. It's just that's what happened. So keep away from crystal ball gazing, conjecture, and intuition. A quick example, what happened? Well, Peter, at the staff meeting today when I was introducing the guest speaker, I heard you say, wow, another woman trying to tell us what to do. You said it loud enough for me to hear, and several other staff came to see me to tell me they heard you say it. So that's what happened. Just boring old facts. What you want to say is, Peter, how can you be so stupid and say such ridiculous things? Or you're so rude, or that was really sexist. All of which is true. But it's not helpful when you're having these sorts of conversations or recording these sorts of conversations and why you had them. And what's the problem with Peter's rude remark? Peter, what you said contravenes the rules and policies of this organisation. What you want to say is, you're offensive, you're rude, and you're outrageous. I get it. Stick to the facts. It also violates the rules you and the team agreed to earlier this year. I put that in because I have seen some teams actually devise extra rules about their behaviour. So, yeah, stick to the facts. It keeps you out of a lot of trouble and saves you wasting a lot of time. Questions? Well, if you've got any questions, please feel free to ask me. But here's one that comes up quite a bit. If you deliver the facts like you said, can you also say they were rude, sexist, offensive, hurtful, or whatever? Yes, you can. There's nothing wrong with saying that, but be careful. If that's all you say, then you do open yourself up to what I've already talked about, being the other person asking for clarification. I'm not sexist. What does sexist mean anyway? So you can use these terms, but be careful about using them. You can especially use these terms when it is defined in the organisation's rules. They might have a definition of sexist behaviour or something like that. So then, yes, you can use those terms because you've got something to help you explain exactly what you mean. There's other questions I'm sure that are on your mind. Please just contact me and ask me. You can message me on LinkedIn if you like. There's my URL, Mark McPherson 1. Just send me a message if you've got something you just want to get off your chest, or you want some help with something. Please don't hesitate. Book a time. I have an online calendar. Book a time for a chat with. You can book a time, or you and your colleagues can book a time to chat if you like. And you can send me an email if you prefer. So please don't hesitate to get in contact if you've got any questions. I am happy to answer them, and I will answer them promptly. Anyway, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, please look after yourself, look after your friends and family, and I do hope to chat to you soon. All the very best.